Have you ever felt like you just don't quite belong? Like there's got to be something more to your story. You just haven't discovered it yet? Well, this is Naomi, and she's felt that way too. What's up, guys? BJ Kicks here. I buy comics, I read them, and I review them, all for your viewing pleasure. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you're not new here, welcome back. Consider hitting that subscribe button and tapping that bell icon before you go. Now, this is Naomi, Season 1. And I decided to pick up this hardcover because there was announced that there's a series coming on the CW, directed or produced by Ava Duvernay. And obviously, that's really cool, right? It's really dope to see more characters of color being portrayed on television and film in the media. Now, what's really cool about Naomi is she's written by Brian Michael Bendis, the same person who brought us such fan favorites as Riri Williams, Ironheart, and the actual fan favorite, Miles Morales, right? So he's no stranger to writing characters of color and having them presented on the big screen. We actually just got an Ironheart series announced for Disney+. So it seems like anything Bendis touches, once he turns it to color, then turns to gold. Now, the question is, are the characters that he's creating, and specifically, is this character actually worthwhile? Does she have staying power? Is she good? Right? So I decided to visit the source material, which this is all there is right now. This is Naomi Season 1. This is 6 issues, basically a miniseries, written by Brian Michael Bendis with artwork by Jamal Campbell. Now, of course, I know of Bendis because I know who Miles Morales is, but I've never actually read any of Bendis's work. The exception to that is Batman Universe, which was also a 6-issue miniseries that I really enjoyed when it came out. Now, it could be that I enjoyed that series so much because at the time that it came out, Tom King's Batman just wasn't doing it for me. But I enjoyed it. It was just a very fun Batman story. I liked it a lot. And I have the Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man Omnibus, but I have not gotten even close to cracking it open just yet. But I did love Miles Into the Spider-Verse, and that the movie was great. I love the character as he was portrayed in the movie, and who knows? I don't even know if that was faithful to the comics or not. And I haven't been reading the current Miles Morales series, so I can't really comment on that either. There's a lot of debate as to whether or not these new characters that Brian Michael Bendis has created are characters that have their own legs to stand on, or if they're characters to say that there's diversity for the sake of being different, right? And so, like I said, I was excited to jump into this series to see what it's all about, if it's got any legs, and, if I'm excited for more. Now, let's start with a little bit of a synopsis. Like I said, this is written by Bendis. Artwork is by Jamal Campbell. I had to get rid of that glare. And now I know Jamal Campbell from his work on Far Sector, although this came first. I love the art in this book, right? If the story didn't get you, the art definitely will. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. And Jamal Campbell is definitely one of my favorite artists of today's time. Now, he's got, let's see, I can't remember the guy who does the coloring for Jamal Campbell's work. So let's see if it's listed in here. Well, maybe Jamal does the colors and everything, because it just says writer Brian Michael Bendis and David F. Walker, artist Jamal Campbell, and then they've got the letterers who are credited here. But there's no one listed as a separate colorist, so I guess Jamal's doing the colors too, which actually makes sense because this coloring is very consistent with what you see later on in Far Sector. What I would love to know is who this Price person is, because he always signs the stuff JC and then Price. I don't know if that's, but anyway, we're in the weeds. So let's go with the synopsis. Naomi Season One. This basically is a 6-issue miniseries, and I've given you a little bit of a synopsis in my intro to the video, right? Naomi is a, young girl, young black girl. I'm not sure how old she is. I think, she's 17. They say that. So she's 17 years old. She's adopted. She's got 2 white parents, or seemingly white parents. And, but she's just kind of been crushed with this nagging feeling that she's got to matter more than she does. And she's trying, like many adopted kids, trying to figure out, okay, what is the secret behind my birth? Who am I? I need some sort of a connection so that I know what I can do in the future, right? And so she's having that kind of existential crisis at a really interesting time. So the city that she lives in is not remarkable at all, right? And this book opens up with a Superman sighting in her city. And there's never been a superhero sighting before, or at least that's what everyone says. But there's a rumor that a few years back, there was some sort of an event, some sort of a superhero level event, but no one talks about it. No one has any information. Most people say, oh, that was just an old wives' tale. Well, Naomi misses out on Superman's appearance twice. So she's kind of just left longing. So all she's got now is this story about this superhero sighting. And she sets out to investigate to find out what happened. What happened? What does this have to do with this town? And so she's asking people, and she stumbles upon the town mechanic. And when she asks him about it, she gets a very weird response. So then she goes to her parents and asks about that. Let me do this. Let me say this. The spoiler-free version is as follows. Naomi has questions about her childhood, her birth, where it all comes from. And she finds out that her experience is out of this world. There we go. That's the spoiler-free version. Now, in case you don't mind spoilers, keep watching this video. Because I feel like I could spoil every plot point, every piece of dialogue in this book, and you would still have questions, because I had questions. One thing that I was kind of not frustrated by, but it kind of surprised me, right? This story was optioned into a TV show, but there's very little known about Naomi McDuffie. And even at the end of this book, there's not really, much that you know. This book is absolutely an origin story, but it's not much more than that. So through Naomi's discoveries, through her investigation, and through her finally poking and prodding her parents, we find out the story of Naomi's birth. And it's far more out of this world than anyone could have predicted, right? You would think that maybe she just crash landed on Earth in an alien vessel and, was raised by, her parents. No, that's not enough, right? So it turns out Naomi's father is from Rand, right? He's not an Earthling. He's not an American citizen. He's not even a citizen of the planet Earth. He's from Rand. He knows Adam Strange. He used to fight with Adam Strange and the Green Lanterns and all sorts of people. He was basically a member of a warrior race. And he was sent on a mission to research this Thanagarian who finds himself in that city. And he meets a girl, falls in love, decides to never go back to complete the mission. Now, sometime later, there's another alien vessel that kind of crash lands and they drop this baby, right? And so he decides, because he can't have children, because he's an alien, right? He's going to care for this baby. There is one other person who's made aware, and I'll save that. I won't spoil that for you. But it's really cool. And so we get introduced to the big bad, the big villain, and it kind of sets up where the rest of the series is going to go. Naomi learns that she has this great, immense power, and she's got to use it to defend her Earth. And she's got the moment where she defends Earth in this book. But like I said, this is clearly a setup for more to come. This is season 1. It's marked as season 1. And I have to assume that season 2 is coming soon. And it's probably even more hurried along because of this TV show announcement. One thing that I will say is like I don't really know what they're going to be pulling from to get this TV show going. Because I mean, well, I guess because it's a TV show, you can kind of stretch this story out a little bit. But there's not a lot of material. Everything I explained to you is pretty much all that happens in this book. We definitely get introduced to some characters, right? We've got Naomi, we've got her friend Annabelle, we've got her parents, we've got Dee, the town mechanic, and that's about it, right? So there's not so much here that I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to see this moment on the TV show, or I can't wait to see this moment on the TV show. This was very much a prequel, right? This was very much, a 30-minute movie explaining origins, and I expect it to lead to more things. So yeah, I don't know how the TV show is going to be done, but as far as what I felt about the book, here's what I'll say. I did enjoy the book. Now, when you start getting into the space stuff and the aliens and the cosmic stuff, you certainly do lose me a little bit, but I certainly enjoyed the whole aspect of Naomi being adopted and wanting to know more about the circumstances surrounding her birth. She's a very smart child. I guess shouldn't call her a child. She's 17. She's a very smart kid though, and she's very skeptical about the things that people say to her. But if you don't get this book for anything else, and I mentioned it before, but I'm going to find a good splash page to show you this artwork. All right. So look at this. Look at this Superman by Jamal Campbell. Like, look at that. That's dope. There's another Superman sighting in the very first issue. And I'll go there. So here we go. We've got Superman and Mongol. Very cool. Very cool. Like, if Jamal Campbell did a Superman or a Batman miniseries, I'd be all in. I'd seen his work on Far Sector, which is a Green Lantern book, but I hadn't seen him on like more of the more, mainstream DC heroes. I shouldn't say that as if Green Lantern is not, but I mean, look at this. Like these scenes set the book off for me. But yeah, and I also love that I wanted to call her Riri. Her name's not Riri. Her name's Naomi. I love that Naomi like changes up her hair, like in the character designs. Like here she is with her hair wrapped. There we go. So here she is with her hair wrapped. She's got the braids. She changes outfits. Like there's a lot to enjoy in this comic book, and Jamal Campbell really sets it off. Like he's one of my favorite artists right now, and that's all I'll say. There's definitely some really cool action at the back of this book, but I don't want to spoil it to you or spoil it for you. So there we go. But yeah, so here's Naomi. And this book is basically the birth of a superhero. Now, how I'm curious to see what challenges come her way and how she handles them in the future. Because the final fight in this book, it was a little disappointing for me. I mean, it was basically like, I won't spoil it. But the final fight in this book, it's clearly a setup for more to come. So I'm curious to see, okay, well, now that she's got these powers, now that she knows who she is, how does she use this information? And where does she fit in the DC universe? I mean, her story is absolutely kind of told in a way that she's woven all through the fabric of the DC universe. She's got connections to Rand and Adam Strange. She's got connections to Thanagar and then the world that she actually comes from. There's a lot going on there. So I'm curious to see how she ends up fitting in the DCU and what really she ends up doing. So all that to say, pick up this hardcover. I got mine for like $16 on eBay. It's easy to find. That Naomi #1 is going to be going up. So if you're one of those spec people, if you're a single issue collector, go ahead and grab them. There's only 6 issues. I got 3 of them myself pretty easily. So go ahead and get those. But I'm excited to see what season 2 holds. And for me, the jury's still out. I love the setup, but I need a little bit more. I hope you saw something you like. I hope you like Naomi. And if not, that's cool. You can go out, you can buy what you like. Make sure you read what you buy and be nice to others, because kindness makes the world go round. Peace.